Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your day. I'm Pauline Verzosa. Now, is the ongoing tension between President Bongbong Marcos and Vice President Sara Duterte affecting our economy? Well, the National Economic and Development Authority, or NEDA, assures the public that the government is still focused on its economic goals despite the bickering between our top leaders. Mobile journalist Julie Baiza with that report.
The National Economic and Development Authority believes that the political bickering in the country is unlikely to have any effects on the economy. NEDA Secretary Arsenio Balisacan made this statement after meeting with President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., Senate President Francis Escudero, and House Speaker Martin Romualdez in Malacanang yesterday.
As we have indicated in our release yesterday, it's a business as usual for us, and I don't think that these political noises would have any impact on the economy.
He mentioned that the administration is focused on ensuring that the goals and targets they have outlined in the Philippine Development Plan will be achieved. Balisacan also pointed out that what's important for the business community is the sustainability of the economic agenda instead of politics.
What's so important for the business community is the sustainability of our economic agenda, and as also seen in the recent economic history, that for so long as the government stays on course, it stays within its development economic priorities and programs.
For their part, the Department of Trade and Industry said that the business sector haven't mentioned the escalating political bickering.
Actually, there are a lot of investments that are coming in, and we are pursuing those investments. So they haven't mentioned anything yet about these things that are happening in our country.
The economic managers also discussed the proposed budget for 2025. Balisacan said the Congress, through Escudero and Romualdez, promised to cooperate with the administration to ensure the funding of key projects under the proposed 2025 national budget.
The President wanted to get the assurance that the priority projects of this administration, projects that have been so well identified as critical to achieving that social and economic transformation that it wants to achieve in the medium term, are funded in 2025.
The Bicameral Conference Committee officially convened yesterday to reconcile the conflicting provisions of the 2025 General Appropriations Bill. Mobile journalist Julie Baiza, We Are One News.
Meanwhile, the House Committee on Good Government has postponed its hearing on the Office of the Vice President's confidential expenses today. Committee Chair Representative Joel Chua said this is because of Vice President Sara Duterte's scheduled appointment with the National Bureau of Investigation, or NBI. Now recall that the NBI told VP Sara to explain her statements about hiring someone to kill President Bongbong Marcos, First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos, and House Speaker Martin Romualdez if she gets killed first. No date has been given for the rescheduled hearing.
Alam po ninyo, yung issue po dun sa NBI ay mabigat po. It concerns national security po. Kaya po kami po ay magbibigay po kami nang sa ganun ay hindi na po kami magamit na dahilan para hindi po siya makarating bukas.
NBI Director Jaime Santiago says they have not received any formal request from Vice President Sara Duterte to postpone her scheduled appearance at their office today. Here's an excerpt from his interview on Storycon.
Ang tanong po namin, siyempre, matutuloy ho ba bukas? Meron bang communication with VP Sara postponing o hindi po, wala naman? So tutuloy ho ba?
Actually po, wala kaming natanggap na request from VP Sara na nagre-request na postpone. At narinig namin kanina sa press con ng House na kinancel nila yung hearing for tomorrow.
Opo.
So, walang reason siguro para hindi kami puntahan ni Ma'am VP Sara. Opo.
So you expect her tomorrow, tama ho ba?
Opo, alas 9 po ng umaga ang aming supina para dumalo dito sa pagdinig namin si BP Sara.
Mhm. Mhm. Sir, paano?
Director, alam na namin kung bakit ang topic ng investigation ay yung grave threats. Pero yung pinagtataka pati nung kampo nila BP Sara, bakit daw merong angle na terrorism? Can you explain it to us? Bakit meron? Ano yung inaanggulo niyo?
11479.
Ay, ma'am, pinag-aaralan po namin yung section 4 and 5 ng Anti-Terrorism Act. Pero hindi pa po final ang aming decision about that. Mag-discuss po ang panel ng mga lawyers namin kung paano ba.
Yes, sir.
Kung
Sir,
sakasakali, anong anggulo doon?
Yes,
Yung
sir.
terrorism. Kung sakasakali, anong anggulo yon doon sa mga ginagawa ni VP Sara in the past few days na might constitute
yun nga po,
terrorism?
yung pag-uutos niya na patayin si Pangulong Marcos, the First Lady and the Speaker of the House, pinag-aaralan po namin yung anggulo na yan, kung ano ba ma-brought about yan, takot sa lipunan, delikado po, ganun po. Serious matter po talaga, kaya nag-enter into the picture po ang NBI.
Sir, for the education of us non-lawyers, kasi we cannot presume to know everything about the law. We just try to be familiar with it. Pero sir, what makes itong banta, supposed banta sa Pangulo, qualify as terrorism versus simple grave threats? Yung Article 282 ng Revised Penal Code. What makes it po different and what makes it go to the level of terrorism na?
Yun nga po ang makunti naming pinag-aaralan ngayon. Actually, there is an ongoing meeting between among the investigators. Dinidiscuss po namin yung mga approaches namin bukas at yung mga possible na itatanong namin kay VP Sara.
Let's now take a quick look at today's other headlines. In the Philippine Star, the Philippine Navy confirms that dozens of Chinese vessels continue to swarm and stay in Subi Reef near Pag-asa Island. Some 83 Chinese vessels have been reportedly monitored in the vicinity. And in business world, the Philippine Stock Exchange is aiming to raise 120 billion pesos in capital next year as it anticipates increased market activity. PSE President Ramon Monzon said they expect to have 6 initial public offerings. Meanwhile, the trade industry assured the public that prices of basic goods are expected to remain steady until the end of the year. These basic goods include canned fish, locally manufactured instant noodles, bottled water, bread, processed milk, as well as coffee, candles, laundry, soap, detergent, and salt. But when it comes to Noche Buena items, the DTI said less than 50% of them will have a price hike. This is due to the higher costs of imported products. In the PVL, the Cignal HD Spikers extend its winning streak to 3 after beating the Choco Mucho Flying Titans. Jackie Acuna had 14 points, 5 coming from blocks, while Ces Molina and Jel Cayuna had 13 and 11 points respectively. The win spoiled CC Rondina's 24-point outburst as Choco Mucho slipped to 2 wins and 2 losses. Earlier, the Zeus Coffee Thunderbells notched their second straight win after defeating the Galleries Tower High Risers. Nakakaantig ang kwento ng isang National ParaGames gold medalist ngayong taon. Nagpursige pa rin siyang makamit ang ginto sa basketball sa kabila yan ng kanyang paglaban sa spine injury at breast cancer. Para bigyan ng mukha ang balita, Mobile Journal, Denise Valdesancho.
Nitong November 14 lang when history was made dahil isang Pinay para-athlete ang nakasungkit ng ginto sa 8th Philippine National ParaGames 3x3 wheelchair basketball. 4 years old pa lang si Jem Tanyag nang magtamo ng spine injury. Ito ang dahilan kaya sa murang edad ay naka-wheelchair na siya para makakilos. Pero hindi raw ito naging hadlang at naging susi pa raw para makilala niya ang sport na magbabago sa kanyang buhay. Year 2016 nga nang imbitahan siyang sumali sa national team for women's wheelchair basketball.
Nung natanggap ko yung invitation, so sabi niya, try nga lang, pumunta ako doon sa tryout, tapos subukan kong sumakay sa pang-basketball na wheelchair. So sabi ko, hala, ito nga ganitong wheelchair, parang medyo, pa ako sanay na, pero kumbaga, iba pa rin yung pakiramdam na sasakay ka sa pang-basketball na wheelchair. So,
Totoo nga raw na there is no harm in trying, lalo na nang tinuloy-tuloy na ni Jem ang pagbabasketball.
doon ko nakukuha yung confidence, tsaka yung happiness ko na kapag may nakakasalamuhang ibang tao, ganyan, nakakapunta sa iba't ibang lugar.
But another setback came for Jem nang ma-diagnose siya ng breast cancer noong July 2023. Nahinto siya sa basketball para magpagamot at sumailalim sa chemotherapy. February 2024, cancer-free na si Jem, kaya balik-bakbakan ulit siya sa hardcourt.
Pag minahal mo na yung wheelchair basketball, hahanap-hanapin ng katawan mo, hahanap-hanapin ng isip mo. So, ayun, nakalive ako from July until May this year. And then finally, June, bumalik ako.
A few months after, nagbunga naman ang pagsisikap dahil nasungkit ni na Jem at kanyang teammates ang ginto para sa 8th PNPG Women's Wheelchair Basketball noong November 14. Bukod pa yan sa ginawa nilang kasaysayan bilang mga kauna-unahang kababaihang naging parte ng Wheelchair Basketball Women's National Team.
Actually, medyo nakakakaba siya. Kasi after our second game, nagka-injured pa yung aming isang player, isang ka-team. So, parang napapakamot na kami na paano to. Medal yung pinaglalabanan. At the same time, parang yung experience na parang, ito yung pinaghihirapan namin eh.
Kaya naman laking pasasalamat niya sa kakaibang suporta na ibinibigay ng mga taong nakapaligid sa kanya, kabilang ang kanyang pamilya at workmates.
Hindi lahat mabibigyan ng chance. Hindi lahat makaka-experience ng ganito. Pero once na tinanggap mo yung blessing, kumbaga, yung blessing kasi hindi lang siya in a form na masaya. What if yung blessing ay hindi maganda? Lahat ng natanggap ko, blessings, at lahat yun pinapagpasalamat ko sa Diyos.
Tomorrow is never promised. And when all we have is now, we do everything to keep what we love. Mobile journalist Denise Valdesancho po, hatid ang mukha ng balita.
And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later at 9 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. I'm Pauline Berzosa. We are One News.